family. Hello, lovelies. This is Kimberly Purpoz, and welcome to my channel. Today I want to do a different video. This time I want to talk about some of the theories and everything that's going on among people and in the science community as well. You know, just in general. Some of these things stem from religion and scientific proof and speculations and theories. You know, I'm not sure if I could say scientific proof because not too many people have seen these creatures. But I want to talk about some of these aliens that that people talk about that are, you know, on this planet. And they say that these reptilian type creatures, you know, just like up here on this picture, are the people that are running this planet. It's the alien that's running and ruling this planet. And so I want to touch on this because some people have different names for it. Some people say they're demons, you know, according to the Bible. Some people call them, maybe some people the fallen angels. Some people believe that there's just mythical creatures, you know, come from folklore. But when you read a lot of stories from the indigenous people, there's some mention of some form or another of these lizard reptilian type creatures. I think the Australian Aborigines had stories of lizard people, reptilians. I'm not sure about American Aboriginals. I believe there may have been some stories. I'm going to do some more research. I don't hold my word for it. I got to do a little bit more research to find out. But I know a lot of the indigenous people mention the reptilians, and some people just felt they call them different, you know, a spirit pretty much. And a lot of times these reptilians like to suck your energy off of you. They feed off of negative energy, and I believe that's why a lot of these negative energy are imposed through through violence, through killings, through hatred, through bigotry, through, you know, violence. And a lot of times they feed on this type of energy, and that's how they thrive, and they feed off our spiritual energy. And there's some skeptics out there. Some people don't believe that these creatures are real. I started wondering about them when I was a kid, because back in the 80s they had this movie called V, showing lizard people as being the rich elite, as being these people, and they are on this planet to hoard resources. And I just wanted to talk about this because I sometimes feel like, you know, there's a correlation between these racism, the human labeling system may somehow be tied to all of this. And I just have some theories and some speculations about this whole thing. And I just wanted to touch on it. I did a video about the different types of aliens that sort of interacts with humanity down here on Earth, and has been going on for so long, in ancient times, you know, goes back thousands and thousands and thousands, maybe even millions of years ago. And there has been some contact with these different types of species of aliens. But on this video, we're going to talk about the lizard people. And I I don't know why I keep on going back to this, because I believe that sometimes, these aliens have something to do with it. Because if you read Revelations in the Bible, they're the last part of, it's the last part of the Bible, pretty much the New Testament. And it's like, when you read it, it's like reading an intergalactic story about what's taking place on Earth, and a lot of the things that are going on now sort of stems, lines up very well with what is mentioned in Revelations in the Bible. A lot of the things that we're seeing is actually true. And it lines up, and it's like a prophecy, in other words. But I guess I want to touch on this because I really do believe that, there's aliens out there. I do believe that these reptilians that travel different dimensions are actually demons. And I believe that they are the ones that be attacking people here on Earth. And I believe that they feed off of our energy. I believe that they are part of these secret societies. I also believe that the rich 1% comes from these entities. And I'm going to read this article because I believe that this article was a good article because it touches on this. And I found it quite interesting, and I would just want to see what you all think. It says here, Reptilian Aliens, the master shapeshifters. And yeah, they are definitely shapeshifters. And a lot of times they like to shapeshift into humans, human form, so they can mingle and mix in with normal society. And a lot of times you can't really tell who they really are. And they said this is written by a Gaia staff. They didn't say who wrote it. And this is published on Gaia Magazine. Gaia has a really good show on YouTube too. I love watching their channel because they go into a lot of details about metaphysics, quantum physics, and psychology, and in more depth, and history. It's like a rich, unique blending of all these scientific schools of thought. And they come up with this to come up with different theories and new ideas of what is taking place here on planet Earth, and what we can do about it to make a change. It says here, no other alien species strikes as much fear to human psyche as the reptilian. These beings snake-like appearances and malevolent, by nature are the stuff of nightmares. It is possible that reptilian humanoids are the source of devil and demonic entities who have tormented humanity since early history. Many alien researchers contactees postulates that these lizard creatures may have been the mythical characters spoken of in numerous ancient religious texts and folk beliefs. Exactly. And a lot of ancients have these drawings on the walls showing these creatures. And then you also hear about some of these creatures in earlier writings, in stories, in myths, in folklore, and it's across different cultures. And I like how this article break it down, and it shows how other cultures have seen it. It's been seen across pretty much the planet. Different cultures right here have mentioned these creatures, and they're gonna go over them. It says mythology. And it says Chinese. In Chinese mythologies, there exists a special reference of reptilian creatures. Dragon kings symbolize the power of the four elemental corners, shape-shifting into humans at will, pulled by celestial dragons in their heavenly chariots. So this is what the Chinese said. And then Islamic. Within Islamic mythology, the jinn are creatures of smokeless fire who sometimes appear as snake-like beings. The jinn were created by God and exist under the same rules as mankind. And then here the Sumerians describe them as well. It says some researchers believe that extraterrestrial entities have influenced humans since the beginning of human history, creating cultural practices around their likeness. Zekai Stitchin believed that the Anunnaki of Sumeria, a Sumerian mythology, was an ancient ET race controlling the human and using them as slaves to do their biddings. And see, and that's what the Sumerians say. They say that humans were created to be workers for these aliens, and they used them to extract different resources off this planet. And that's when you start hearing more about extraterrestrial entities, these texts and throughout different cultures. And it says here in the Bible, there are also claims that snakes from Genesis was a fact reptilian king who convinced Eve to break her oath to God by tasting the forbidden fruit of knowledge. Exactly. And I find it interesting that in the Bible it mentions the reptilian, which is a snake. And these reptilians creatures is the one that caused Eve to not follow the Most High. And it says, could these myths be interpreted of reptilian humanoids suited for the time, place, and circumstances around ancient moments of contact? Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, let me see something. I'm gonna research. I might do another video. I'm going to just read this article because I wanted to see what the Indigenous American Aborigine says about that. I believe I did see something about the Australian Aborigines, who they did have some drawings of these creatures as well. But I don't know if I've seen it with the American Aborigines. I'm going to do some research to find out, because I believe they have some drawings of some aliens, type aliens on their drawings too, but I'm not sure specifically if it was the reptilian that they were drawing. But I'll probably do another video on that topic to see what my findings are. But this article I don't think it mentions the Indigenous Aborigines at all. But the thing is, these creatures have been spotted throughout in different parts of the world, and it has been shown in these ancient drawings. So I believe there's something to it. They drew these creatures in the way that they thought that they appeared to them, and also the technology. They might say a fire stick, like they said in the olden days for a gun. They like burning circle in the sky. Might be describing a spaceship. So let's go on through. It says here, origin. These creatures are thought to originate from the star system Draco. Okay, which is interesting. It tells you the planet. I'm not sure exactly what solar system. Maybe I'll go into that. They say the characteristics, physical characteristics. While some of these mythological creatures play benevolent roles within their given societies, the reptilians encounters in modern abduction scenarios are generally cruel and negative beings, standing anywhere from 6 feet to 8 feet tall. They're the most recognizable features is their snake-like head, skin, and eyes. Ooh. Then it says here, abductees report a variety of skin colors ranging from brown to green, red, and sometimes white. These colors, the presence of wings, are said to be signify ranked among the reptilians, with the white skinned being viewed as the elite class. See? Even they have elite classes, and I believe these are, personally, I believe these aliens created the human labeling system. And if they believe that white skin is better for the elite class, who's to say that they brought down on this planet this ideology? And I believe this, I was skimming through this article. It goes into detail as the time period when these aliens started appearing on this planet. And the timing is so impeccable to certain things that occurred in the history that you begin to wondering. And I'm gonna read it to you all. Haven't gotten to that point, but we're gonna stroll down. It says here, their webbed hands have 3 fingers tipped with long, sharp talons. They often seen wearing armor of cloaks. Ooh. It says armor or cloaks. It's here again. Their webbed feet have 3 fingers tipped with long, sharp talons. They're often seen wearing armor or cloaks. Some abductees reported scratches, bruising after an encounter. Reptilians are 4th and 5th density beings. Whoa. See, and they go into details of how these creatures look, these entities look. And I know some people who said that they have experienced seeing things. I have read reports and countless stories, and of people seeing cloaked figures. I have heard of that before. I find it interesting in the Harry Potter movie, they show cloaked figures, and maybe the author of that movie, of that particular book, might have seen them in her lifetime. That's why she drew them, which is sort of strange, very strange. But yeah. And abductees report scratches and bruising after encounter. I have read reports and studies about that too. People having scratches and bruising after they have an encounter. And a lot of times people do this, experience this during nighttime when they go to sleep. And so, the reason I personally think is real, because that's been some incidences that I've experienced myself with seeing aliens and stuff. What I'm not sure if they're aliens or not, but it defied logic. And I've had friends who have mentioned that they've seen different aliens and have seen things too that defied logic. See, some things, we cannot explain because we cannot see everything 100% in our vision, because I think we only use about 5% of our brain power. And that's given the smartest person. So we don't use that much of our brain power. And I think, it's like we're using visors covering our eyes because we don't even see a lot of dimensions, because it's so many dimensions that we cannot see. And it's like when we walk around here, we're walking around with blinders. We can't see everything. But because that's why quantum physics interests me, because it studies the unseen. It studies what people consider to defy logic, and these are some of the things we should be studying. And metaphysics sort of studies that too. It goes into the realm of things that defies logic. And some people do paranormal psychology to study as well. But people, as more research is coming and more studies are taking place, more technology is developing, we're starting to realize more and more this is real. There's more to these ancient stories than people thought they were. Because these ancients, people mention the giant squid. And for centuries, for a very long time, people believed that they were just making up these mythology creatures, making up all these stories out of the figment of their imagination. But the more people read up and the more as things, tend to coincide with the Bible, you start to realize with a lot of these ancient texts that the ancients were actually telling us a lot of the truth. And they described these beings and these entities the best way they could, given with the type of technology that were around them, and they described them with great detail. And I believe, too, that the ancients were trying to prepare us and warn us on a lot of things. And we should go back and take heed to them, because we can learn a lot from them, believe it or not. And really understand it. I think as we understand more things, we start to see things coming to light. And it says here, communication methods. Many agree that the hallmark of reptilian aliens is also sadistic tendency towards eliciting human drama and fear. And seeing what better way, they already got the labeling system up here. Told you that the light skin, the gray skins, pale skins are considered the elite. And they even said some of them can even have wings, depending on their level of leadership. So if they have gray skin and everything, and they are the elite, they sort of, it seems to me that they're following a lot of the same traditions among themselves here on Earth, among the humans, and that could be a possibility. I know these may be so far-fetched, but hey, you gotta look at all of this, And it says here, these beings utilize psychic communications, and abductees report that reptilians seem to intentionally manipulate human emotions. This is achieved by using the emotional field created by trauma as an energetic source that the reptilian supposedly feeds from. Whoa, that is sick. And it says some can implant screen memories upon their subjects, creating false scenarios to hide an abduction occurrence. It also repeats that reptilians can access the human dreamscape, attacking people on the astral plane. Reptilians are known to be master shapeshifters, able to assume human form. And see, that's the thing we don't realize. A lot of times they love to be in human form so they can blend in. And what better way to have close access to people here on the planet without them even knowing that they are robbing them and draining them of their energy. And it says mode of transportation. Reptilians generally travel on a disc-shaped craft. Let's draw down. And the intentions here on the Earth. And it says David Icke, popular reptilian researcher, has accused presidents, kings, and queens of being shape-shifting aliens, intended upon controlling the resources on planet Earth for their own benefit. And we see that now. The rich 1% wants to depopulate the planet for their own selfish greed. And it makes perfect sense, because if they say they got selfish tendencies here and they want to hoard all the resources, and the reptilians are known for hoarding resources and stealing people's energy as a food source, then what better way? And then creating a labeling system, making the pals be in charge. And, it just makes perfect sense to me. It says, although reptilian often approaches as a physical creature, some claim that these beings exist outside of our dimension. This would make their shape-shifting and immaterial manipulation human consciousness. And it says, reptilian creatures seems to be warlike beings bent on conquest and control, pretty much. They like to control and rule. And that's why they have all these leaderships that all of them are lizard people, because I often think about it. If these world leaders and elitists are all reptilians and they all want war, a lot of them want war. They want to start World War III because that's a feast fest for them to feed off of people's fears and trauma and loss and everything. And they feed off of this particular energy. And then not only that, if they don't care about the planet, all they hear is just steal resources, and they don't care about the planet at all, They don't care about it at all and just steal resources, and then they have somewhere else to go. This is not their home planet. And see, like I said, they don't mind pushing that nuclear weapon because it's not their planet, because they got somewhere else to go. And it makes perfect sense to me, because I'm going, why are these people so heartless and so selfish? Because if this is your home planet, why would you want to hit a button that'll destroy it? The only thing I can think of is that if you this is not your planet, you don't care, you just raiding it for its resources and you're gonna leave, then it makes sense for it to be an alien, who's not even indigenous here to want to do these kind of things. It makes perfect sense to me. And then it says here, common abduction scenario. Positive reptilians are not the norm. That's true. And it says many abductions involve forcible acts upon the abductees. Some of these intrusions are sexual in nature, leading researchers to the conclusion that a hybridization between human and reptilian may be in progress. See? And it's saying they're mixing with the human race. And it's mixing in with humanity. There's no telling how long this has been going on. And it says abductees have been reporting encounters with strange and feeling like beings. Been reporting encountering strange and feeling like beings while abroad shaped reptilian ships. But perhaps the truth of their individual dates backs even further than recent encounters. Researchers hypothesize that human beings may have been genetically altered by these entities for thousands of years, turned from a peaceful evolutionary path by otherworldly forces, and subsequently enslaved. And it makes sense. And, before they came on this planet, it was very peaceful. They, humans by nature, prior to them being here wasn't like this. And then when they came down, that's when all the chaos and the drama came, because they want people to release these energies, negative energies, for them to feed off of. And if that's that primary full way of eating, and this becomes a feast fest for them because they get a chance to eat off of humans' energy, chakras, I believe, I would say. And I was watching another YouTuber on YouTube that was talking about this, because I think they showed a guy who created a camera who took pictures. He's able to take pictures of different dimensional creatures. And he showed some of these aliens sitting, being near humans, and we can't see them. And they're just constantly draining us of our energy level. And we don't even realize it, And I have to admit, some of these cameras pick up different energies and stuff. Everybody say, oh, it's just dust. But, what are these flying orbs that are flying around people? And people can't understand what they are. I have pictures that show some stuff that defies explanation. You just don't know what it is. And I think it's very feasible for a person to create a camera that does that. And I believe that these types of technologies are already in existence. And they're already being used, especially in paranormal psychology. You see some, researchers are starting to use these types of cameras to try to prove and show that there are, that quantum physics is pretty much real. A lot of the science from Einstein is also contributing to it. There's different theories that are also a part of the research of quantum physics. It's like a blending of different theories to give explanation or a better understanding of what is taking place to different types of circumstances that defies physical logic, that doesn't have a direct physical explanation that you can see with your eyeball that to explain everything. But it says here, the darkest rumor goes beyond genetic manipulation. Some believe that reptilians are farming humans as cattle to satiate their apparent taste for earthling flesh. And they say some of them eat humans. Oh my gosh, this is disgusting. And you know what? This might be explaining why how come people come up missing sometimes and nobody know where they are.